Oh, run, down, run. Ba-dum. Now I'm abstracting something, always. This cannot be a place where I'm... So, yeah. I guess we can do this one. Stand in the corner. Yeah, I mean... This looks fine, I guess. Slightly here. Yeah. Oh, hello. Welcome. Welcome, me, myself, and I. Hello. It's 15%. Can be delicately silent. That's fine. I think I crashed my OBS. No, it's fine. It's still working. Let's see here. Okay, everything is different. Microphone is set 1. Cool. Yes, I'm ready. It's been a while. Hello. Definitely been a while since I've done this. Well, would be how everything goes. Whoopsie days. Windows goes closed. Hmm. I'm so stressed. I'm absolutely in dismay at the moment. Even if I record what I'm doing right now, it would probably still would be subpar, so I would have to re-record later. It is what it is. I prepared the best I could for today. Absolutely have no idea about anything today. I am so lost. Uh, mm, yeah, we will be reading another chapter of the book. one day I will possibly just do all the audio stuff and post it on the internet in my YouTube channel, I guess. On Master CA's Bison. Oh, yoy. No. How do you even do anything? Oh, my bad. Yeah, but in general, it's been a project that's been so dead recently. For the last, I don't know, 4 months. I didn't do anything with it. Because once I started reading it, it became glaringly obvious to me that I made so many mistakes. So many mistakes. Like, not catching... Even though I actually ran it through a program to catch mistakes and everything, the program still missed many mistakes. And also the entire thing with just writing style, I guess, to some degree. And the writing style is iffy, the language is weird, to say the least, and sometimes it's even hard to read. Like what? Actually, let me... open the page on my browser because I want to check if it's actually set up correctly. Quickly, YouTube, go break. What? Of course, everything will be breaking today because that's how everything goes. Switch account, main one, main. You know what I mean. Studio was in Krakow. That's nice. Studio. It's gonna be so hard. Like, my voice is so destroyed. I picked up my bad habit again. I will be trying to minimize it until 15th. Then after 15th, I will be quitting for the second time. Quit to Electric Boogaloo. Actually, that's gonna be like 7th time. But it is what it is. Sometimes life throws you a lemon and you don't catch it. You get hit in the gut and you absolutely fall down and crumble. And then you think you died, but you didn't, so you will back up. Public. That means public. Cool. That means it's working. It is what it is. This absolutely what it is. I don't know, maybe I should do a recap of how we are basically here slowly, because again, 4 months, nobody remembers anything. And if you see my random things on Twitter, you will see that even I didn't remember anything apart from the file I found. Hmm.
Like, okay, so I go in the kitchen.
I don't want to do this. I don't. Like the relationship is very weird with me in my book. Like, yeah, I don't even know how to describe it properly. Like I enjoy the book. Like I think I've written a good story with good depth, well-designed characters, and everything works well. My bad, I guess, side of the entire story is basically me not knowing how to write. I knew how to write in Polish, I didn't know how to write in English. Massive, valuable lesson is to read aloud what you actually are writing. This will help you visualize what you are doing, how things work together, how easy it is to understand, to communicate, how easy it is to read. Because if you, a creator, have a problem with actually reading something, then the reader will have much bigger problem, right? So this is my lesson of the past. I don't think I will actually change anything in this book, like at all. I think this will remain as a legacy kind of thing. So I and other people maybe can learn from it to some degree. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm very lost, and I hope my microphone is okay today. I really do, because the recording, and if I have to record, I will have a meltdown. And I will probably have to at certain point. I don't know. I so don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. I'm so stressed. I'm so stressed. I'm afraid. I am nervous. I am anxious, and I want to throw up. And also, I want to smoke. But I did the salt gargle to clean my throat, and I also drink olive oil to have it moisturized and like protected afterwards. A few minutes after, you have to like after gargling salt and soda, you have to keep not drink for like 5 minutes, 5-10 minutes. So actually everything is cleaned up. Then you gargle with normal water. So yeah, and you will just wait. It will absorb some. It will clean you inside, and then you gargle with normal water to remove all the salt and everything to not over dry your throat. And then a spoon of that's bullshit. And then you will have a spoon of olive oil to like moisturize, to create, to give it a thin layer, I guess, in your throat, to sort of lubricate everything, moisturize, and then just upkeep with water to re-moisturize and everything. It is what it is. Pa-pa-ra-pa. Hey. Bet you'll turn this sideways and every egg will fall out. Yep. Done. Yep. Okay, I am absolutely procrastinating and doing nothing. Yeah, because I don't want to. Ay, 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 ay. Baby brother. Oy, oy, oy. Okay, yeah. What died? Everything is lagging. Go. And it will be lagging even more when I see, please. It will be lagging even more when I start recording. So cool. Love this. File manager is not responding. 100% CPU. Oh, fuck. 80% memory. Jesus. Task manager is not responding. Holy shit, how can I close task if it's not... Why are you eating 60 fucking %? Okay, you are getting caged. Holy shit. You are not allowed to eat that much. RAM, CPU, sit. You are absolutely not allowed to eat that much, baby boy. I'm having stroboscope into my face at the moment. It's not helping. It's still 100%. How is it possible? I need new PC. The OBS is flashing me. Oh. I really need a new PC. Okay, 85%. I can handle that. 85% is okay. 70% RAM. Why is everything so bad? It's going up, down, go down, please. Yeah, okay, anyway, fuck it. I think we will be fine as long as we don't look at it. If you don't see the problem doesn't exist. That's basically the true fact of nature, and you cannot tell me otherwise. That's basic natural law that everything abides by. Okay, so in previous episode, what happened? It was the training phase. So we had the entry between Yuki and Miko, and Bale, how they train. Yuki trained Amy, Bale trained Miko, and they were training until Amy. Before the training phase, actually, Amy threw a challenge to Bale for this exact opportunity for the sparring, I guess one could say. Only if I can give back that. Well, I don't. If any of that name brings like rings a bell, that's cool. I love that. If not, then that's on me because it took 4 months to do anything. So let's do a further recap, I guess. The entire story revolves around 40 years in the future, somewhere around. No, it's a close future. Like nothing really changed. We have everything. Everything is exactly the same as it is at the moment. The only change is 2 years ago there was a shattering. Basically, scientists experimented with some new form of energy they found, and reaching the superposition of atoms in few things, they wanted to create quantum soldiers, and they shattered a barrier between realities, realms, something to that degree. That shattering basically... I am so eloquent today. That shattering basically created superhumans, like sort of elemental influence seeped into our world and into specific people. So you don't really have an idea how or why they are chosen, but some are chosen by, I guess, the world, the forces unknown, to be better. The shattering created different gem-like and colorful forces. So, for example, red can control fire and heating of elements, so on and so forth. Brown is rocks and ground and everything. Green is life forces of microorganisms and plants. Blue is water. You get the shtick, right? And they also experience bodily growth, basically ever since shattering after reaching like late puberty in let's say 15th year of life, like around the time you go into high school. Yeah, at the start of high school, I guess. Somewhere 15th birthday, 16. Doesn't really matter. Late puberty. I mean, most people go through puberty around 12, 13, but the development is continuing later on, so it doesn't matter. The point is, their bodies became the perfect physical shape. You are muscular, you have less fat, your health is exactly how it's supposed to be. You are practically a perfect human being. Alongside that, you are taller, your hair color changed to resemble what is your power in general. And all of that is because of the influence. You won't gain weight, you can eat all you want, you can... You're basically the superhuman being that can control elements. Depends on your thing. And then there is empty powers that you don't think have any power, but it is revealed that Yuki actually has power. He has empty power, which was unknown to the people, and from previous chapters we actually learned that Yuki's power is a bit different. He can actually do everything the people with their normal powers can do, and maybe even more, but that depends. Like, but still to be seen. I guess depends how you look at it, but that's up to you. If you are interested, please read or listen to the rest of the chapters I posted. I don't usually advertise my stuff because I despise advertisement. I literally hate it with passion. Cannot say what, but I would do exactly that to every single advertisement group and provider in the entire face of the universe. I am very passionate about maybe not everyone, but vast majority that are predatory, that are preying on customers, that sell fake information, that literally abuse the system to gain more monetary value out of the product, even though the product is dog shit. Jail, prison, and death sentence. But we're not here to talk about this. This is my private opinion. They don't deserve fucking life. Fucking I'm watching your King Shot and the plague fucking thing. Anyway, yeah, the Yuki might have some more aces in his sleeve, but the main difference between empty powers and normal powers is that they don't experience the bodily growth. They doesn't really change apart from what they were, like the normal puberty stuff. They just grow up and are normal human being without any more physical enhancement. They still age like normal people. They are normal, like apart from their powers, they are normal. We also learned that Yuki is sick, which is also kind of constant with how empty powers are. Empty people actually are somehow always sick. The more the government experiments on them, the more sick they are until their eventual demise. We also know that there is another force in the play. There are the shadows who are uh, constantly keeping watch on Yuki and Miku, and to some degree, Yuki is in contract with them. We don't actually really know what's truly going on here, like who is responsible for what, who is doing what, and why are in the... Jesus, so many dropped frames. Who is responsible for what, who is doing what, so that will be for the next chapter, actually. So if you enjoy today, I will do my best to do the same next week, if I am able to motivate myself to actually finish editing this part. If it doesn't turn out like absolute crap, which will be difficult because everything is burning at the moment. I am losing frames again. My computer is burning. I'm so tired of this. Really, I am so fucking tired. Okay, YouTube, you are getting sacked. If recording shatters because of music, that's basically it. So I'm not going to risk that in any shape, way, or form. Mm, I'm kind of worried because OBS is also on. Huh. GPU 1 3D, GPU 0 3D. I don't know what it means, which means I shouldn't be bothered by it. So, yeah. I'm already out of breath. I am out of breath and already tired and don't want to do this. Again, like I haven't done this in a while, so I will kinda remind the rules for a bit. Mm, like this chapter is weird because there will be a break time, like in the middle. So if I see anything going on in chat, any questions, anything else, I will be addressing that during the break period because I'm not as used to recording long sessions anymore. And I also, again, with my bad habit, I ruined my endurance of throat. So that will be a time for refill of water, to moisturize, and to do many other things. So it will take a while. It will be a two-part recording, I guess. Mm. You never actually realize how dry your throat is getting until you actually sit down and try to talk for 1 2 hours for 50. Especially if you are reading something, like even if you are streaming and talking to chat, there are still slower moments and you can actually stop down and slow and breathe and do anything else you want. But when you are reading something, you have to constantly talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and talking. There is no stop. Your throat really gets tired. But I will have no voice tomorrow because I already read the part like twice today. I think once, but I was preparing for that a few months ago. So again, with that short notice I gave myself, I did everything I could, which is still not enough, but I will do my best. Another massive problem I have is that I keep delaying it because I don't want to do this. I'm afraid like literally very afraid of doing this. But the main problem I set for myself is basically that how do I say this thing? No, we don't sing. Yeah, now it's against defense. I don't know. Like, Twitter is doing Twitter thing. Okay, yeah. Streams are just good. You shut the fuck up, you do. I know. I absolutely know I am a bad streamer and I cannot do anything, but I am very uncomfortable right now. Like, the actual fact that nobody's watching this is making me feel less uncomfortable. I would absolutely love to talk to somebody or actually, I don't know, to have some comfort or anything to whatever I'm doing, to have some reassurance that what I did is actually fun to anyone and I'm not wasting my time. Okay, DP, let me check because I haven't seen this website in a while. Probably even logged out. I'm doing anything just to don't do what I should be doing. Oh, yes, exactly. Ooh, bookshelf. Nothing. Reports. What's in the reports? The most books I sold was when they were for free. Okay, yeah. What if I want to see everything? Cannot because Amazon is fucking inept. It is with month to date. Yeah, and absolutely. The book is oh, the book is dead, but it's not entirely the end. Like, let's say if you publish a book, yep. Like the first book rarely takes off, and the problem is people don't really read. I I guess they never did. Like the certain point books were like pivotal point of entertainment, but still people like to read, like not read, go to theater, to plays, to everything else. Like books were never as popular as they deserve, I guess. Always the attention for the book is from not even audiobooks. Like that's the gateway. I guess I was told by Darwin, but the books are medium. The main attraction is visuals, so manga, comics, animated series, a movie, things like that. Those are the things that will actually get going. And I know this myself. Like I don't read manga a lot, but if I see anime that I like, I will look for the source material and then I will delve into the material, the source material until I'm through and through with it, until I am actually spent, until I know everything I can. Currently, I'm reading from the Cheat Matcha Gift. I stopped reading in a while ago, but I really want to finish it eventually. It's been 45 minutes. I've been stalling all this time. I don't even know what I did for the entire 45 fucking minutes. And the biggest fear I have right now is even if I do record everything and it will be crap and I will have to re record everything, I will be super sad. I think it will be a massive blow to my confidence because, again, I haven't done this in a while. What? Literally. do. I don't want to do this so much. I want to cry. But again, I like this story. I really, really do. The not as I said, books aren't the perfect medium, right? And I'm losing frame rates again. I'm losing frames again. I really need new PC. My a few months more I can handle, but it will be need to be replaced eventually. Anyway, books aren't the best medium, but if you publish your first book, you will realize many mistakes you have done, right? And then when you publish a second book, you will start to create a name for yourself, and people will be more intrigued to see what you are cooking, especially if you are doing a series like me. It was never supposed to be a series, but it grew, and probably that's also a mistake I've made. I've seen people miss currently one shots, so they don't really want to go into 50 books specials, you know? But it is what it is. I have planned two more books, one more probably will be in the making from tomorrow. I'm missing so many fucking frames. So I'll tomorrow start working at the next book. Maybe, maybe not. You will never know. Fuck you. Uh, but yeah, I still enjoy the series. I think, apart from English not being my first language, I will do. I speak English well. I do. I think my pronunciation might not be perfect, but my understanding and depth of the language is pretty good. Maybe I'm not a native level speaker, but I would like to believe I am up there, aspiring to go up. And and yeah, that's what it is. My English being poor, like not knowing what to do and what to wear and anything else, is partially the reason why it's in so bad state. But still, even though the grammar is lacking and the style is rough, I guess, there are many things I did correctly. For example, I like characters. I think characters distinct, they are well designed, and you can see who is when talking and all of that from the main cast. You have Miko, Yuki, Amy, Jane, and Bale. I think they have very distinct characters and they are well designed as people because I tried to design them as people. Then, on the other hand, their dialogue, I think they are pretty fluid and well designed. The depth of the entire thing, motivation of people, and resolutions. I feel like I designed it well. But this is self glazing, so don't really look at that too much. I will just heal that side. I didn't ask. Why? How do you tell me this? Okay, doesn't matter. We will not get through. As I said on Twitter, we're not getting through this by bitching about it, so let's go. I hope I will do voices correctly. Again, having the entire cast be entirely women is very detrimental to my mental health because it's so hard to read and give them proper voices. I do my best. I know it's cringe. I know it sounds weird. I am absolutely aware of that. Believe me, as someone who hears that constantly, yes, I know. Thank you. Yeah, time to fucking go. I did nothing other today. Start recording. Here we go. The event was broadcast for the entire facility, and interest was high. Both teams dressed in their protective uniforms and gathered with the teacher in the middle of the training field. Okay, let me quickly go over the rules so everyone is familiar, started Miss Richards. The place they train at was modified to suit the setting. More trees and rocks were placed in the empty space, and both teams had their base on the opposing side. Today, we are playing war games. Capture the flag. Both teams have one flag in their base, red for Amy's team and blue for Bale's. The first team that brings the opposing team flag to the base without having this stolen wins. Flags can be moved on your own accord, but they need to be either on a team member or in a base. No hiding them outside a reasonable area. While each person doesn't have a life assigned, you can disable someone when they are unable to continue. Obviously, lethal force and long-lasting injuries are forbidden. She looked at both teams, nodding in understanding. Furthermore, even though the teams are uneven, you can imprison enemy combatants. Doing so requires a one-on-one ratio of people, which means an overpowered person will stay captured until another person approaches, tipping the scales. Understood? She asked, but it was very clear to everyone. While the audience didn't like that rule, most weren't aware of the difference in team. They were in for a shock. Miss Richard made a bowl of water above their heads and stated, "Both teams to the bases. Once the ball falls to the ground, you can start." Everyone was given the catalyst and went to the side, waiting for the signal. Amy's team had a plan laid out. Expecting Bale to move forward, she wanted to stay behind to defend, while the rest of them sneaked to the blue base and steal the flag. Blue team, however, didn't need a plan. Yuki didn't matter and sat down while Bale readied herself to charge as soon as she could. White mask covering her mouth, yet it was obvious she had a wild grin underneath. Miko had no idea what to do and stood helplessly in the middle of the base among the trees. "Be reasonable," asked Yuki. "Will do." Bale nodded and waited, excited, for the water to fall. She knew she had to hold back a lot, but with all the pent-up energy inside, she was in her serious mode. "I'm not gonna let that insect speak up to me," she thought to herself. Finally, the sphere shattered, and once the droplets fell to the ground, the battle started. Releasing at the 10-step force, the blonde devil leaped through the air straight towards the red base, with bits of dirt following after her. "Will do my ass." Yuki sighed and lay down on the ground. "But what now?" asked Miko. "Now we just wait. Jane, Mary, and Gale will get here shortly to steal our flag." "Should I do anything?" she asked, very uncertain of anything. "Go for it and have fun. You probably have better chance the more opponents are against you." "Why do you say that?" Curious about his reasoning. She didn't master anything yet, and neither had any special techniques, but was above average in releasing her influence. "Just a hunch," he replied quickly as he covered himself with leaves and sticks to disappear until they arrived. Jane and Mary were fine, but Gale could be problematic for her, so his plan was to capture him and leave them be. With a loud thud, Bale clashed with Amy, and before she could react, sent the red-haired girl a few meters back. "I was waiting for you," smiled Amy as she collected herself. Painful. "Waiting? But still you were not prepared." Bale rolled her eyes, annoyed. "Whatever, entertain me for a bit before I absolutely humiliate you." "You wish," Amy smirked. "I just have to hold you long enough. I just have to hold you. I just have to hold you long enough. Fuck. I just have to hold you off. I just have to hold you off long enough." "Hmm. So you gave up on your pride after all?" This voice is so hard. "Hmm. So you gave up on your pride after all? Not really. Yuki made me realize how much I lacked and how far apart we really are. She stood up. She stood straight and picked up her guard. I don't think I can win, but that doesn't mean I won't be annoying to deal with. I do think saying that will make it any less shameful. Ha! Bale laughed in response and charged at her. She was faster than seconds before, wanting to grab her face and shove it to the ground. Yet her hand was pushed off with the small explosion Amy created and missed entirely. Landing on the other side of the base, Bale looked at her hand, intrigued. What's wrong? Amy laughed, even louder. Can he the stunted target now? She taunted her, which made Belle even more annoyed. On the other side, Gale. On the other side, Gale walked calmly into the blue base. Standing before Miku, he waited. She was shaking nervously, still processing what Yuki told her. In an instant, from her left, a wooden vine emerged and went for her legs, while from her right, a whip of water tried to bind her torso and her arms. Miku didn't think twice. Releasing a pulse of heat, she charged both attacks. Gale didn't move. Gale? Asked surprised Jane, coming out of the bushes on the left. We were supposed to attack together, reminded him Maria, emerging from behind the trees on the opposing side. You were, but I thought he was a little bit too dangerous to let loose, said Yuki, picking his head from behind the giant. I will be borrowing him for a bit. You girls have fun. He waved towards them as he held Gale with a stick. Without touching him directly, he waved towards them as he led Gale away with a stick, without touching him directly. Jane, Maria, and Miku could all gain from this practice. Both were unnecessary for them. His plan was basic, but it caught the instructor's attention, who watched it closely. Green and blue powers were easier to deal with than brown. Knowing they would ignore him and being powerless, he eliminated the strongest foe. Still too little to impress him, yet it was a smart move. Even the instructor had to admit it. Sorry, said Jane. We thought if we ambushed you, we could get it over with quickly and leave you two alone. It's fine, she smiled in response. It's part of the exercise. Do we continue now? Asked Maria awkwardly. Go on. Both girls resumed attacks, trying to overpower Miku from a distance, but she was fast to react. Dealing with each attack one at a time, she was defending well, but she wasn't attacking. All of the all of them knew she was better in hand to hand, so keeping the distance was preferred. The fight wasn't anything special, just students throwing random pieces of terrain at one another without any rhyme or reason. Yet, even in that chaos of a barrage, Miku absolutely dominated the surrounding field. Nothing got even close. This is precisely what Yuki meant. Their uncoordinated attacks and her simple but efficient spread of influence in a large area denied them any space. Even Miku quickly realized that and started pushing outwards, shifting the ground beneath them, throwing rocks and other debris their direction. Both Jane and Maria were soon spent and overpowered. Maria fainted from pushing herself too far, and Miku quickly put her in a stone straitjacket. Jane had modern endurance, but even she couldn't dodge everything at once, and soon after was also put in her own rock dress. Good fight, complimented her Jane. Thank you, smiled Miku as she fell on her butt, breathing heavily in exhaustion. It's a lot more effort than I thought. It is. Still, you do have some time alone now, so our plan didn't fail entirely, said Jane, proudly presenting her pearly whites. By the way, I don't see your flag anywhere. Oh, that. Bale took it, she replied. We knew you would utilize your advantage to win, so the safest bet was for her to take it. Both of them looked to the other side, where fire and explosion raged on. Do you think Amy's okay? She's probably doing better than we are. Ha ha ha. Jane laughed, while Miko turned her gaze towards Yuki, who didn't react. Go on. Maria is out, and both Gale and I are prisoned. You can do whatever you do. We won't escape. Thank you. She walked towards Yuki. So, what do you think? Miko asked humbly. You did well. I knew you could do this. Even though his words came out cold, they made me warm inside. It means a lot to me. She smiled a bit wider than before as her face took on a pink hue. Turning around to hide her embarrassing blush, she sat down nearby, not close, but closer than before. So how did do you? She coughed in between her mumbling and continued like nothing happened. How much longer do you think this will go for? Not too long. Amy is strong and had a good idea. Bear is just on an entirely different level. Ugh! Way to ruin all the fun! Bale yelled as her every attack got deflected. Punch after punch, kick after kick, everything missed. Finally she launched a bull kick with both legs crossing the vectors. It still didn't land on Amy, but pushed her back. I will take that as a compliment. Take it however you like. I never saw a more cowardly way to fight. Bale hissed and clicked her tongue. I thought it would be fun, but you got very boring very quickly. Truth being told, Amy wasn't fast enough to react to her movement, but she could somehow predict where she was going to strike. Bale didn't take on any position. The ground underneath her feet just exploded from the force as she launched herself towards Amy. Having sucked out of her enjoyment, there was nothing else for her, so it was time to end. Forcing her hand through the armor, an explosion covered Bale's forearm, leaving a few burns behind, but she reached her throat. A straight kick from underneath sent Amy flying into the air, while the explosion pushed Bale into the ground. Since physics was up to interpretation for her, like a spring, she pushed herself off the ground onto the ceiling. Once again, down, drop-kicking Amy back to the ground. Disoriented, the redhead couldn't react fast enough. But because she had trained different patterns, her body dispersed her kinetic energy. Again, disoriented, the redhead couldn't react fast enough. But because she had trained different patterns, her body dispersed her kinetic energy, letting her stand on her feet with no damage. Once again, using the initial explosion to her advantage, Bale came down like a cannonball with a guillotine kick straight to Amy's head. Right before the impact, however, a thin layer of dust formed around her heel and crumbled even faster than it appeared. Right. I was supposed to hold back, she thought, clicked her tongue once again and slowed down enough so her foot only pushed Amy down into the ground. Lifting her shoe from the girl's face, she looked at the sole with disgust and dragged it around like she would be cleaning it. Walking towards the red flag, she could hear laughter from behind. You are really strong. It was Amy. Although bruised, she turned onto her back and kept on laughing loudly. What's so funny about it? Replied Bale, furious, clenching both flags in her fist. The difference between us. Even trading with Yuki, I could never imagine it would be so great. She sat down after a while, still laughing. What? You want to go again? No. I lost fair and square. She lifted her hand to fist bump Bale, but she only shot her a disgusted side-eye. You showed me many things I need to work on. I won't lose like that another time. Bale didn't respond, just slowly walked away. She had no respect for people who would use their ability defensively. In her eyes, it showed a lack of commitment and resolve, being too weak to cause harm even when defending oneself. Yet, there was one thing she realized. She could indeed one day become very problematic. Whatever, she thought to herself and shook her head. Yuki, I'm coming! Putting on her, putting on her cheerful, putting on her cheerful and sweet self as she skipped towards her beloved. Slowly making her way through the empty land, Miss Richards announced the winning team quickly and sped off to see Amy. Although short, the event was interesting to watch for the audience. As a showcase of what the students learned, the class lived up to being the most promising. Instructor's interest was piqued, shifting his plan a bit. Bear's team will be closely watched during the exercise and will face better trained soldiers. He was very pleased with the results so far. Luckily, the aftermath wasn't serious. Jane and Gail suffered no injuries. While Maria fainted, she woke up a few hours later after a good sleep in the infirmary. Amy was carried out on a stretcher due to extreme fatigue. Doctors wondered if she should participate in the training on Monday, but the instructor pushed her through the bureaucracy. For the weekend to regenerate, extra supplements to help her recovery, and technically she should be fit. She should be fit, but not ethically. It made a difference to him, as long as she participated. Two teams, three people to be more precise, would be under his watchful eye, personally. Bale, Amy, and Yuki. Mostly the latter, however, since he felt like not acknowledging him sooner was a massive failure. Even if he didn't have power, he wanted to know more about him. Geniuses were rare, and finding another one would be of great benefit to him and everyone involved. 16 minutes, and we are about halfway, but I will leave you for a second because I need water and I need to use toilet, so I will be... No. Instead, I will be back in a jiffy and I am... The back? I don't know. YouTube, shut the freak up. We are freaking up things. And I think after this part, there will be three more. I think there will be 14 parts in the end. Yeah, 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 yeah. But I will be doing nothing else for the rest of the weekend. I will go into scrubbing the recording Monday. Without, oh no, do the subtitles actually do anything? I would Like to know, like, if you watch this on full screen, you'll be able to actually see the entirety of the book, and you should be able to read along with what I'm reading at the moment. Do you actually need subtitles? I don't think you do. Plus, YouTube provides ones for free. I don't know if it's beneficial to anyone by any means, especially to me, because every single person on this planet is an egocentric, egotistic, selfish. I don't know. Mm, okay. Mike, hello, please fucking work. Don't tell me you stopped walking. I will expunge myself from existence. Yeah, recording part fucking 2. Woo! Early Monday morning, students met at the school's roof and slowly, group by group, were picked up by helicopters. While everyone was going in the same general direction, the training area for each one of them was tens of kilometers apart. Since that exercise would take place in Southern America jungle, they had a long flight ahead, during which gear was distributed and all the information was given to them. Objective was simple: travel from point A to point B and recover a piece of data from the terminal. Along the way, they were supposed to stay undetected from the operator stationed in the area. Results mattered the most, but there was space for additional points, judging how well the team prospered. Students were also told that there were no individual marks, only collective. If one of you fails, the entire team does. On the way there, Miko observed the vast ocean beneath them while Bale was pretending to investigate the map with Yuki. Knowing their past, putting Miko and Yuki in the same team was like pouring salt over the fresh wound. But was it only for the sake of being fair? Even though Miko had every power, it was Bale who was balancing Yuki's lack of. There is also a question of physical capabilities. Training exercises were taking place in the jungles of Southern America, making a very hard terrain to traverse and to survive in. Taking into consideration that two members out of three didn't have their physique enhanced and both were sickly, was there something else the instructor wanted to find out? Being assigned X-ray call sign, they landed on the small clearing at 0700 and were only equipped with basic military protection equipment, helmets and radios. Helmets with radios, simple rod-like catalysts, and small rations in the backpack. They were told to come back here before 2000. They were told to come back here before 2000, with or without the data, otherwise they will be on their own for the night. Yuki immediately took charge and led the group into the thicket, with Bale following him closely. More than before, Miko seemed to be suffering greatly, looking at their close relationship. I think you should take off your mask. The air here is very clear, although very humid, but it would do you some good. You think so? Bale replied to the boy. What if I have to come close to you? Won't you spread your illness, you know? My immune system isn't very good. Oh, this is massive cringe. If it were infectious, you would already have it. True, she replied. Just say you want to see my cute face, stupid, continued Bale, before running in front of him. 2 more clicks northeast from here, pointed Yuki, while not being engaged in the still being engaged in the conversation. Would you do it if I said it? No, but thank you, said the girl, blushing. I'm not go- I'm gonna run ahead and scout the area from above. I'll let you know if I see anything. Okay, be careful. Yuki's voice sounded over the radio since she was already gone from sight. All they could see was her shadow running up the tree to the top and jumping from one branch to another. With Belle scouting from above, Both Yuki and Miku moved through the jungle slowly to avoid any traps that might have been waiting for them. The instructor said to expect the unexpected. This was neither a training nor a practice in the standard sense. While permanent damage to the student was less likely, it would affect their grade. 2 kilometers went by rather fast, without any problems. Consulting with the GPS tracker, Yuki saw that their objective was not further than 10 kilometers from them. But something wasn't right. Bale, do you see anything? Nothing yet. GPS shows a large clearing before us in about 4 more clicks, if we turn north here. So? Asked Miku. Probably one of the deforested area from before the shattering. Drink? Gul gul gul. This is so us. Weirdly, we didn't land there. It would cut our trek in half. Walking in the jungle isn't the only obstacle we had to face. He pondered. It didn't add up. Thinking to himself, Yuki tried to figure out where the ambush would come from, since it didn't make sense for the instructor to go easy on them. No? Are you... Good. We don't know what we can expect. But there is a trap there. Who, how many, when, and from where. We should go around it. Back at the camp, the instructor and Miss Richards were observing monitors, tracking the GPSs of the teams. Well, she was never a fan of this idea. There was nothing she could have done about it but to worry about the safety of her students. Instructor, transmission from Team X-Ray, said one of the operators walking the radio. Let them through. Team X-Ray made it into the jungle safely, without any problems. We have a large clearing ahead of us. Is that all you want to report? I'm sorry. The message was meant for Miss Richards. Yuki replied without any hesitation. The area looks like an ambush, so we are going dark. GPS gives the instructor unfair advantage. Don't worry, we will be fine. Back on after we reach the objective. X-ray out. Laughed teacher. Guess he read through you. He's always a mystery, no matter what he does, right, instructor? Maybe I misjudged him. Fine, I will play his game. Put me through to Zeta Squad. After a few clicks from the operator, the instructor grabbed the microphone. Change of plans. Zeta 1-1 and 1-2. Fall back to defend the base. 1-3 and 1-4. Stay guard on the clearing. Zeta 2-0. Search and destroy. Handing the microphone back, he crossed his arms and watched as his operator started to move into position. No way! Do you also see this? Asked Miss Richard, the operator sitting before the instructor. No, ma'am! I know you do. So you can smile, huh? Looking at his face, you could clearly see he was enjoying it. It wasn't his prowess, nor was it his boldness and strength of character. No, it was the unexpected combination of all of those from someone whom he didn't even look at before. How many more secrets does he hide? Marry me, please! Belle jumped down from the tree and kneeled before him. His defiance made her act up, while also wanting to torment Miku further. No, Yuki replied quickly, making her fall backwards in surprise. So, now we angered the eye. We? I think it was you, said angry Miku. Sure, but we have the advantage of knowing that if there were... Fuck's sake. Sure, but we have the advantage of knowing that if it were an ambush, the instructor would spread his forces to catch us while we avoid them. Yuki kneeled over and shoved some leaves away from the ground. Taking a sturdy stick in his hand, he started drawing a small representation of the map. A small square representing their current position, a triangle at the opposing side behind their objective, and a large circle between those 2 points representing the clearing. With X's, he started marking where he suspects enemies to be positioned. 3 around the center, 1 further away from each side, and 2 at the triangle. No matter where we go, we have at least 3 squads to face, with possibly 2 more reinforcing them if we aren't quick enough. The path on the west is uphill, so it'd probably be less guarded since it has better visibility. We can use it to our advantage since they will expect us to be below. While you will be picking them off, Miku will be on the ground destabilizing the communication, trying to delay the reinforcements. I will stay with her since I'm just a brain in porcelain share. Sure, leave it to me, said. That sounded like a golem. Drink. Oi. Ah, sure, leave it to me, said Belle while flexing her almost non-existent arm muscles, showing them she's ready. All right, let's move. You two go up ahead while I cover the tracks behind us. Once we are close by, wait for me and we can start. While Yuki started to mess around with the jungle foliage to cover his map and the shoe prints, Miku went ahead, and Belle caught up to her quickly after observing him at work for a bit. You know, it's very weird how good he is at reading people. You think so? Replied Miku. Yes. We didn't even spend too much time together, and it feels like he already knows all my strengths and weaknesses. Kind of scary. She walked up, passing Miku slightly. You are so lucky. No matter what I do, he will never look at me the same way he looks at you. It makes me jealous. What do you mean? Every time we talk, we trained or studied, I occasionally peered deep into his eyes, but found nothing there. Empty, like his sight was used to watch you and you only. What? With the metaphor so out of place, Miku got goosebumps, and her hair stood straight. I mean, I don't know what happened between you two, but you'd have to be blind not to notice how much you both care about each other. You might want to hide it, but the distance you keep is hurting both of you. She stopped for a second and turned around with a warm smile under her mask. Since you are distancing yourself, don't you think it's time to disappear completely? We both can agree that he deserves someone who can protect him, someone who can help him, someone who you will never be. Even though she said that playfully, she meant it fully. Belle turned back around and started skipping forward. This girl, how much does she know? No way she knows about the contract. And that phrase, like his side was used on so used and that phrase, like his side was used to watch you and you only. There is no way anyone knows about me except for Yuki and me. And he wouldn't tell her that, Miku thought to herself, but even though she could feel that Bale's trouble, she hit the nail on the head. No matter how much she tried, Miku not only didn't stop thinking about Yuki, her feelings deepened. At first she thought Bale stealing him and making him happy was okay, something that would also make her happy. Yet, the closer they got, the less comfortable she became with that idea. Stop dozing off. Yuki snapped his finger before her eyes. I know this isn't ideal, but the faster we finish, the faster you'll be free from me. I... no... yes. Caught off guard, she could only agree. It has been so long since they were in this close together, making her feel happy. But still, she cannot let this change anything. After all, it was her fault he was sick, which is something she will never forgive herself for. About your plan, you know I can barely control my powers. How do you expect me to disrupt military-grade communication frequency? I don't, responded Yuki coldly. Everyone suspects you could be good with controlling a large area, and your diamond powers mean you should be able to do it, so I will take care of the rest. But what if someone notices? Won't that break your contract? You'll be okay. I promised you that, and I'm going to uphold that promise no matter what. Even though it was a sweet thing to say, almost breaking through Miku's defenses. She didn't even bother to smile. I just need you to be, I just need to be close to you, and as long as you look busy, it will be fine. What about her? She's your ticket. She's your ticket out of this mess. I'm just waiting for the right time. Even more, she's the reason we haven't had any problems since they came in. What do you mean? Asked confused Miko. After all, this contract was the reason they broke up, and why Yuki has to protect her. He said that if you let anyone know about it, Bale isn't anyone, Yuki said with a certain meaning in his mind, but to Miko it sounded intimate. Do, do you like her? Was something she wanted to ask, but it was too painful to let out. Or was she too scared of the answer? Your ticket out of this. Bale isn't anyone. This is what she wanted, for Yuki to stop caring about her, for him to be able to live his life away from her. Yet now she was conflicted. Was it the right thing to do? What Bale told her, what Yuki said, was it a good decision? If it was, why does it hurt so much? I trust you know what you are doing. I do, but you won't like the, but you won't like it, is what it should be followed by. It isn't about what she would like to hear. But it won't, but we will take some time. I cannot explain it, so be patient. What a mess, he thought to himself. There are still 4 more kilometers to go until they meet some foes, but the tension will be tiring. Yuki didn't mind Vale getting close to him. He didn't mind her doing her own thing, even if it was savage, as long as it didn't collide with his plan. Now, it was stirring things up since Miku started to question her decision. Damage was dealt already, and scars will be left, but his plan will not be changed. Listen, it's okay, cut her off Yuki. You are making great progress with the amount of influence you try to control. Diamond is the strongest set, and you have a huge amount of that influence. It will take some time to control it, ensure proper release, and determine the amount. Then, how did both of you? We just we just practice a bit more, right? Once again, cut off by Bell this time, who came back just to meddle. I I guess. Still, your progress is astonishing, Bale. Do you mind me asking who helped you before you arrived? Asked Yuki. While watching her reaction closely, she just turned around nonchalantly and started walking slowly, kicking in the air from time to time. The question was more for fun than anything else. Gabe helped me. He had a he and a lot of experimenting. He must be a great teacher then. Wish I could have spoken to him. Both of them laughed, while Nico watched, confused. It was instantly clear that they knew the truth that wasn't accessible to others. Unfortunately, our paths didn't cross. While Miko was pushed out of the conversation and could only listen, she was still very cautious about it. Oh, she was still very cautious about it. Ever since she arrived at the school, she could only shine in school subjects. Being a star child her entire life, this setting made her feel somehow inadequate. If something broke, I will kill myself. It's not like he avoids you. Maybe a little, confessed Bale. He's very wary of you since you attract a lot of attention. Do I now? You do. And he's worried that attention might not be beneficial for me, she explained while playing with her hair. Also, you have that dangerous side, looking at something deeper than anyone intends you to. What do you mean? Asked Miku, since Bale's remarks about his eyes didn't feel random anymore. I'm just very perceptive, replied Yuki, acting like it wasn't a big deal. Except for Miku, who was used to him, everyone knew his observations were almost inhuman. With a single glance, he studied everything thoroughly. Don't be so humble. Our roles are accidental, right? Miku cannot take down a skilled operator alone. so it was an obvious choice. Do you think I can, with barely any training? Belle kept on pushing the subject, but whatever she wanted to hear something, or just to steer a bit between those two, was hers to decide. Her motives are well hidden from the prying eye. We aren't we aren't talking about some random students. Those are trained soldiers, hand chosen by the instructor. No, you knew her area of expertise is in control of large field. Just as you know I prefer to get close and personal. First of all, you and Amy aren't random students. It makes a lot of sense. In all the notes from practices, you always ended it saying test is not compatible with my power and not to worry about the grade. How could you have known that? How could you have known? Asked genuinely surprised Miku. I didn't even know that. You never asked me about it, so I couldn't explain properly. The line of question was clearly uncomfortable, but it wasn't something Yuki hadn't prepared for. Without any visible stress, he continued. When you were practicing in the pod, your metrics didn't spike when you tried to gather influence. It only rose when you tried to imbue them into the pillar. Since it wasn't a problem of acquisition of power, it had to be the area that wasn't suitable. And when it became full, the pillar started pushing the influence back into you, causing spikes. Slightly annoyed, Yuki looked at Bale, who quickly shoved her tongue through her mask and turned away, whistling. Bale didn't have time to use the pods, but I saw her physical training and IT. Although she aced all her tests, it's not the reason everyone accepted. She's entirely different from you. While your problem is squeezing a vast amount of influence in a tight space, she can gather large amounts without any limits until the result is accomplished. Just like he said, it's easier to fill up a cup with droplets than to fit a liter of liquid into a small cup. Tests measure mostly the result, not the way to achieve it, which is another flaw of the system, which is another flaw of them since it skips a lot of valuable data. But on the other hand, it's only been 2 years since the shattering changed the world, and the progress takes time. So it is to be expected. Her ability to quickly gather influence and replenish it means she will excel at using it close to her. He paused for a moment before continuing. At least that was my general idea. So I didn't talk to anyone about it yet. I would say it's surprising that no one found it out yet, but more surprising how much everyone loses by treating you like a defect, said Belle with her head high, catching a glimpse of Miku's reaction with a corner of her eye. It doesn't take much to make her feel the words, but in her mind Miku deserves every bit of pain it brings. She wanted to explain that it's not like that, but Yuki stopped her. Not yet. How about we figure out this situation out, then we'll fix other problems. Sounds good, Bear replied quickly. I'm going to scout ahead, since we are slowly walking into danger. You to figure out how to create enough electromagnetic static to silence the military frequency with it, by, for example, creating an electric hum of the same frequency that would block any transmissions. Or something like that. Thanks, said defeated Yuki. Holy fuck. Giving them the answer to the questions she asked, the purpose of the talk was destroyed. Bale was very good at manipulating others. Within a few hours, she showed Miku how bad her decision was, how much better she is, and how much more in common she has with Yuki. The situation could only get more awkward if Miku went back on her word and started to fix things between them. Bale was so good at what she was doing, even Yuki started to wonder what if. Would he be able to turn back around? To forget the countless days and nights spent studying, practicing, and developing different techniques? To forget all the pain and suffering those events brought on him and others? Just let it all go, turn around and live in peace, fame, and wealth from what he learned. In the end, it was only that, a thought entirely disconnected from reality. Yuki, about that night, asked Miku softly. I don't think it's the best time to talk about this right now. I don't want you to hurt yourself anymore, she continued. Tell me what to do, and I will do my best to make it happen. Uh, that's also fine. It might be even more believable if it isn't perfect. Replied and watched as she went forward, leaving a gap between them. Truth being told, nothing of that would matter by the time the new year came by. That night, huh? Yuki said to himself, and got lost in thought, reminiscent of that particular time. Cool, and this will be it for today. Jesus, holy hell. I need to stop the recording. I will put on the music and we will go through what I just did in about a moment, but I need a jiffy. Be right back. Holy hell. Oh. Okay, I'm back. Hello, welcome back, me. Hi, it's been a while. Holy, that's 40 minutes of reading non-stop. And I will cut it down to probably 32 minutes because of the breaks and repeating sentences and empty spaces, you know? It will be cut down, it will be lesser in the actual episode, so it is what it is. Before I lose my voice, I really like this. Again, I feel like the characters have what they should have. Really do. Uh, I think they are distinct. The motives are pure and clear. And again, as I was building the book from the start to finish, the entire story was intended to resolve about Miko. We have here more exposition. We have more information about the entirety of conflict while Bale is here and all of that. Next part, a bit of a spoiler, is Yuki actually explaining the situation with his contract, so I will put it down before you get spoiled the next part. And I think I tried to make chapters somehow like you would be reading a stories made like I tried to not do cliffhangers. This and there will be another chapter that will end in a cliffhangery way because I wasn't able to reach the resolution or the chapter would be too short or too long otherwise. So unfortunately, even if I don't want to do cliffhangers, it would be still happen one more time. I think in the end it will be 14 or 15 parts, so maybe a month until I'm done. Possibly longer if I find a job, which will make it harder for me. But yeah, it is absolutely what it is. I like it. I feel like the depth of characters, and I like it. I really do. I cannot lie. I really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, the style of narration I chose is very, very difficult to actually do. Mm, and is like very difficult to achieve because of the voices and mostly because of the female cast of the show. Again, as I started saying, the thing I wanted to actually do is Miku. I wanted to make a story about a female character that was praised for entirety of her life and somehow was lulled into being feeling like the star of the show while actually a lot of drama happening around her. But she didn't pay any attention. I wanted the story to be about her coming to terms with what she did and other things, how she acts like an absolute baboon. And I use that word because I have no other idea what to call it. But she acted like a knob. And I wanted the series to be her slowly coming to realization of that and growing from that experience. And the story in of itself actually achieves that. And she reaches that point, as you can actually see, that her feelings actually started to change. Like at the start, she was talking about that it will be better, she should be hostile towards him, so he will hate her, and this will be better. Now you see her flip the script, kinda. She started to see him in a different light. She started questioning her decision. and the choices she made, and thinking about stuff, and maybe she will reach the resolution, maybe not. But the thing is, somehow when I introduced the villain and other things around, then Yuki started to position himself more forward, and he to some degree stole the spotlight. I would say the spotlight is currently 7-3. Like, he stole entirety of the show for himself. So, and he stole most of the attention of everything. Would be my take on it, of course. But I'm the writer, I am the author, so I guess I would know. He stole the entire show, and with further parts, I do have that in mind, that both of them are crucial to the story, and it's still about them, even though other things will happen. Yeah, actually, I have nothing else to talk about. Absolutely head empty. And I will be closing the stream. Thank you for coming, thank you for watching. I love you, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of the weekend. March starts in about an hour. Let's go Norway. Good luck, have fun.